I see you, D. Looking good. D said I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. I had to get my dance on real quick and go old school. I didn't do the Cabbage Patch yet, but I might have to break it out real soon. I'm really looking. I'm really looking to be able to do the kid and play again. Because if there's nobody else around and I have to stay inside, who am I going to do the kid and play with? I don't want to kick the chairs. I don't want to kick a cabinet. It seems counterintuitive. I wonder if I tapped on the chair, if I could hop around the chair the way kid and play do. I don't know if everybody remembers that. So you have to go look up the kid and play dance. People got to look up the kid and play dance. So there we go. Give it one more minute. All right. All right. Welcome to day one. Welcome to day one. Let's get it started. So we're just going to keep continuing to do what we always do. We're going to start off with just a little bit of intentional movement. We're going to get into 2 additional techniques for tonight. Within our time right now, we're going to go through as far as reflective practices or meditative techniques. We're going to be going through the technique to, some people call it the technique to shift emotions. We'll talk more about that shortly as we get to it. We're also going to go ahead and get into a meditation. I like to call it the meditation for the true self. It might be familiar to some people, it might not, and that is fine. The whole point of these sessions is to not go super deep, super quickly. Really, that's something we can always get into either within the context of remote yoga teacher and yoga meditation training. And if anybody has any questions about that, reach out to us. The email address is www.healinghouseyoga.com. Healing House Yoga is a registered yoga school recognized by Yoga Alliance. For those of you who might even be registered or certified yoga instructors right now, great, because Healing House Yoga is also recognized by Yoga Alliance as a continuing education provider. For those who, this is also on that. We'd love to be able to talk to you about that, even if it's something along the lines of distance learning, distance continuing ed. Reach out to us, question, singular, question at healinghouseyoga.com. But that's on the yoga side. So if you're wanting, maybe not wanting to be a meditation instructor per se, which is fine, but you simply want to go deeper in your reflective practices. Hey, these YouTube sessions are cool, but let's go a little bit deeper. Can we personalize it? Can we make it a bit more structured? I have some specific questions, and I don't know if I want to wait a few days to loop back around. That's fine. Question at mindfuliconsulting.com. And that's question, again, it's singular, question at mindful, the letter I, consulting.com. And send us any questions or concerns that you have there. I have plenty of folks, business owners, professionals, folks that, they have their jobs as well, but they just need a structured, personalized way to deal with whatever they're dealing with. A way to reflect. Everybody needs the opportunity to reflect. And as we do that in private sessions remotely, we can structure something that's just for you. So reach out to us, give us a shout, let us know what's going on. All right. So as we get started now, we're going to go through just a little bit of movement, nothing too grand, hopefully nothing too difficult. Here's what we're going to be doing tonight. For those that might be more familiar with the classic hatha yoga or even an ashtanga or vinyasa practice, you might be familiar with something like an eagle pose. And if we were standing, if you wanted to use your imagination, for those who aren't familiar with the pose, it's essentially that as you're standing, you're coming to cross one leg over the other and essentially squat while wrapping one arm around the other. We're going to do a modified version of that, just seated where you are. For those who feel like they want to stand up and do this, by all means, go for it. Free yourself. But from where we are, here's what's up. We're going to bring the arms out in front. And I'm going to invite you to bring your right arm, cross it under the left, cross the right arm under the left, line it up at the elbows. The body allows, you're welcome to go ahead and wrap one arm under and around. Feel like the body allows. So you're wrapping the arm, you're here. And so whatever feels most comfortable for you, and I really want to line up the center line here. So whatever is most comfortable for you, I don't need to show off. So for me tonight, because I think hugs are great, I'm just going to give myself a hug and I'm going to invite you to do the same where you are tonight. And that's the upper body. At the lower body, you have options depending on where you are, standing or seated, as your body allows. I'm going to invite us to cross that right leg over the left leg. Now, maybe you're crossing at the knees if you have space and the body allows. Go for it. Maybe you want to be a little bit more subtle, and that is fine. So I'm going to tell you then to cross the right ankle over the left ankle. And as we're doing this together, we're just going to give ourselves 3 long breaths. So here we go. Long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. 2 more times. Here we go. Long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. All right, last time. Long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. Uncross the legs, unfurl the arms, bring them back out because we got to work the other side. So before we did right hand under the left. This time we're going to switch. So the left arm now crosses under the right, line up at the elbows. And again, you have options. Honor your body here. Don't punish yourself. Honor your body. Don't punish yourself. So remember the options. We can either give ourselves a hug. We can bend at the elbows. We can come into a deeper wrapping of the arms. Tonight, I want to give myself a hug. When's the last time you had a chance to give yourself a hug? If it's been a while since you've gotten a hug from somebody, a healthy, appropriate hug, feel free to give yourself a hug now. Now, that's the upper body. At the lower body, again, you're welcome to cross the left leg over the right at the knee if you'd like. Or if you're wanting to be a little bit more subtle, and I'm going to do this for myself tonight, I'm going to invite us to just cross that left ankle over the right ankle. And as that left ankle is crossed over the right ankle, together now, let's just give ourselves 3 long breaths. Here we go. Long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. 2 more times. Here we go. Long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. Last time now. Long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. Relax the body if you're wanting to momentarily rotate out the wrists and ankles, or shake out the arms, or do a quick rolling of the shoulders, that is fine. You're welcome to do that. Let's get ourselves comfortable back in our seats where we are. So as mentioned, the intention for our session is to go through two specific reflective techniques, call them mindful, call them meditative techniques. That's fine. I say this over and over and over again. Have fun with your practice. You know, you're never going to really make progress in your practice unless you're allowing yourself to be relaxed and to have a little bit of fun, or to bring some joy into your practice. So just allow yourself to notice how seriously you might be taking the practice, or how much expectation you might be loading onto yourself. Sometimes we carry with us an expectation of, if I don't achieve a particular feeling, or if I don't see a certain thing, if I can't say a certain word just right, or hear a particular sound, that maybe there is something that's wrong or flawed or defective with either the process or with the self. And that's not a story that's real, and it's not a story that's true. So you're certainly welcome to let that go. Just have fun with it. Just have fun with it. Give yourself permission to occasionally, you know, not let the practice be perfect, right? Practice makes process, and this is a process. This is a process. It's not perfect. So be gentle with yourself. That's really going to be the theme of these two techniques. The first technique we're going to be getting into for tonight is the technique to shift emotion. So let me talk you through the setup here. Here's what's going to happen. As we get ourselves into a more relaxed position and we begin to relax into our breathing, here's what you're going to hear from me. I'm going to, as we relax a little bit more into our breathing, I'm going to invite us to just observe a memory. Just observe a memory and allow it to be the first memory that presents itself. And that means that could be as recent as something that occurred today. It could be as far back as you may be able to remember, and that's fine. But as I say that, I mean to say this. There's no need to worry about filtering the memory. Oh, I don't like that memory. I really want to go to this other memory. No, that shouldn't be the right memory. I don't know if it's appropriate for this time. Go to whatever the first memory is that presents itself. Be willing to consider that's the memory that needs to be addressed for this time. And as that memory presents itself, you're going to hear me invite you to just observe the memory. Just observe the memory. And as you're observing the memory, the invitation is to observe without labels, observe without judgments, and observe without expectations. So no expectations, no labels, no need for labels, no need for expectations, no need for judgments. Just observe it. And you're going to hear me invite you to bring all 5 of the physical senses into the observation. Now listen, I get that the mind wanders from time to time. So if while you're observing your memory, the mind seems to, it's okay. I'll remind you of that. If the mind does wander, then simply come back to your breath and return to the discipline. The other thing to consider is this. If at any point during this practice, anything about the memory seems at all overwhelming, if that happens where anything about the memory seems overwhelming, listen, you're just the observer. And so because you are the observer of the memory, you are completely safe. And with that, if the memory is still overwhelming to you, you are welcome to white out the mental visual screen. You will be invited to simply come back to your breathing. And as you do that, if you'd like, you're welcome to choose a different memory, or you can choose the same memory. Now, I want to be clear with this technique, I'm not intending for anybody to go to a specific emotion. I'm not intending anybody to feel go to feel a specific emotion or go to a specific memory. But this is really to cultivate our ability to be more in touch with emotions generally. So you're welcome to do this. You're welcome to not do this. That's your choice. As we allow ourselves to observe the memory, you're going to hear me invite you to notice the emotion that goes with the memory, and then to observe where in the body we are noticing more of that emotion. Some people say that a lot of our emotions and memories actually live in our musculature. And so for some of us, feeling an emotion, we might notice that it's localized. It might reside in a specific limb or a certain part of the body or a certain side of the body. Sometimes we might notice that the emotion seems to inhabit the entirety of the body. That's okay. But to the best of your ability, just observe where you're feeling the emotion in the body. And then the final invitation into that part of the body. And I'll allow you to explore that technique one more time on your own. If the mind begins to wander, it's okay. So, to the extent that we're ready, let's find ourselves coming into position here. If you're sitting on a chair, you're welcome to the feet flat on the floor. Back and neck are relatively straight. Relax the fingers, relax the arms and the hands. We're not doing anything particularly fancy or special with hand placement or arm placement. Just relax the fingers, relax the arms. Now, your eyes can be open. If the eyes are open, I'm just going to tell you to blankly gaze or stare in a general direction. We don't want to be staring at anything too hard. If you feel like you might be able to maintain a sense of presence or focus a little bit easier with the eyes closed, well, you're welcome to do that as well. Again, with this technique, we're just the observer. We're just the observer. I'm going to be doing this with you as I guide you through it. My eyes are going to be slightly lowered, and in some cases, they might even be closed. So let's begin together now. We're going to begin together now with a long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. Again, long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. Begin now to just settle into the breathing. In and out through the nose. Breathing now in and out through the nose. And so as we find ourselves now simply breathing in and out through the nose, right now you're welcome to consider that there's really nowhere else that you need to be other than right here and right now. And so as you begin to allow yourself to consider that there's really nowhere else that you need to be other than right here and right now, you're welcome to allow the breath now to become just a little bit longer. Allow the breath now to become just a little bit longer. And that just means a little bit longer on the inhale. The breath is now a little bit longer on the exhale. On the inhale, and just a little bit longer now on the exhale. You're welcome to allow the physical body to just begin relaxing a little bit more, letting go of just a little bit more tension right now, letting go of just a little bit more stress right now. And so, as you allow yourself to relax just a little bit more right now, knowing that you are completely safe in this moment, just begin to allow yourself to observe a memory. Allow yourself now to begin to observe a memory. Just allow the first memory that presents itself to be observed. No need to worry about filtering memories right now. Whatever the first memory is that presents itself, allow yourself to be willing to consider that that's the memory for you right now. And so, as you begin to observe the memory right now, begin to bring all five of the physical senses into the observation of that memory. Notice everything there is to see within that memory. As the relaxed observer right now, notice that your ability to observe is just a little bit clearer than normal. As you're noticing everything there is to see within the memory, don't worry about getting hung up on words or labels. Just simply observe. Simply observe. Any sense or ability to hear, bring that awareness into the memory. Notice now everything there is to hear within that memory. And again, don't get hung up on the details necessarily of what's being heard. There's no need to get worried with or hung up on words to describe what you're hearing. Just observe what there is to be heard in the memory. Observe now any physical sensations that might be associated with the memory. That might be something like the quality of the air against the skin, or the weight of clothes against the skin. Just observing. Observing any scent or aroma that goes with the memory. Again, we're not getting hung up on labels or value judgments. Don't worry about words that might describe any scent or aroma. Just observe. And if for whatever reason you're observing that there doesn't seem to be any scent or aroma that goes with that memory, well, that's okay. That just means that right now you're observing a memory that doesn't seem to have a smell or an aroma to it. That's okay. Any kind of flavor or taste that goes along with the memory. Observe that now. And if there doesn't seem to be any taste or flavor of anything associated with this memory, that's okay. That just means that you are now observing a memory that doesn't seem to have a flavor or a taste associated with it. That's okay. Just continue observing now. Continue observing now. Now, again, if there's any part of this memory that at all seems overwhelming, just remember that right now you are the observer. You are the observer, and you are safe in observing. And again, if it still seems overwhelming, any part of the memory, you're welcome to begin to white out the mental visual screen, and you're welcome to come back to your breathing. And as you do that, if you'd like to either choose a different memory, you're welcome to do that. Or if you're choosing to go back to the same memory, that is your choice. In either event, allow yourself to observe the memory, bringing all five of the physical sensations into the observation. Bring all five of the physical senses into the observation. And as you continue to observe the memory with all five of the physical senses, begin now to notice whatever emotion is associated with the memory. Begin to simply notice the emotion that's associated with the memory. Now, as you begin to observe that emotion, allow yourself to simply notice where that emotion seems to be felt the strongest in the physical body. Notice now where that emotion seems to reside the strongest within the physical body. And that might be another way of saying, where does that emotion live? Or where has that emotion been living in the physical body specific to this emotion? And again, right now we're just observing. There's no value judgment that's going with this. It's just an observation. Now, the emotion or a certain part or side of the body, it might feel as though the emotion is felt to the same degree or intensity throughout the entirety of the physical body. And that's okay. And so now, wherever it is that you're noticing that emotion residing or living, you're welcome now to begin to simply invite relaxation into that part of the body. Just begin to invite relaxation now into that part of the body. And in some cases, it might just be a matter of stating an intention or making a request. And so you're welcome now to either say out loud or silently within yourself, I now invite relaxation into this part of my body. I now invite relaxation into this part of my body. And if making that statement or making that request at all seems challenging or difficult, perhaps be willing to consider just saying that you're willing to invite. And so that might sound something like, I'm now willing to invite relaxation into this part of my body, to invite relaxation into this part of my body. And then just take a few moments to breathe into the process and observe. Just breathe into the process and observe. Now, staying in this meditative space, we'll do that technique one more time while I'm silent. I'll give you time to do this on your own in silence. And so you can either choose a different memory or invite a different memory to present itself. You can allow yourself to revisit the same memory. Take a few moments to observe the memory with all 5 of the physical senses. Then notice the emotion that goes with that memory. And then finally invite relaxation into that part of your body where you're feeling that emotion the most. I'll be silent now and give you a few moments to explore that technique on your own. Now, wherever you are in the process, I'm going to invite you to begin now to just white out the mental visual screen. Wherever you are in the process now, begin to white out the mental visual screen. Allow everything to dissolve to white. Everything dissolves to white. And we'll begin now to slowly and safely come back into present time with our mental visual screens white. Let's begin to slowly and safely come back into present time now together with a long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. Begin now to wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Let's do that one more time. Long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. Begin now to rotate the wrists, rotate the ankles. One more time. Last time, long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. Allow yourself just a few more moments to blink, stretch, look around, settle in now, fully alert, fully awake, fully refreshed, fully awake and aware, fully present right here and right now. All right. So as we begin to settle in just a little bit more, all of these techniques that we're offering through these day one sessions, again, they're really meant for you to build up a foundation of your own reflection, variations of that technique. And again, if you have any questions about what we just did, or if you would like to find out more about different techniques, email us, reach out, question@mindfuliconsulting.com. Again, that's question, singular, at mindful, the letter I, consulting.com. All right. So let's go ahead and talk through our last meditative technique for tonight. You are welcome. You're welcome. Let's go through that last technique for tonight, and it's going to be something that we're going to call the meditation for the true self. For those who have done things like body scans, it's going to be a little bit similar, but we're not going to be focusing tonight so much on the physical body, at least in terms of limbs, as much as we're going to begin to allow ourselves to explore a little bit more internal processes. So much of this particular technique is really geared toward us shifting the nature or the quality of the relationship that we have with our mind, uh, thoughts, and the sense of self. In much the same way that last technique we just did to shift emotions had so much to do with shifting the quality of our relationship with our emotions, in many cases just being aware of the quality of emotions. This has to do more with inner processes, our sense of self, the quality of thought, and our relationship with thought. So often when we feel like we're overwhelmed, that overwhelmed quality has a sense of scattering or shattering our sense of self. And so we will tend to feel a little bit out of phase in our bodies. We'll tend to feel out of sync or out of sync with our mind, our sense of self, and even just our mental processes. And so whenever I will coach or teach people around developing a reflective practice, it's proprietary, but it's also systematic, as far as making sure we're progressively getting people through getting back in sync with some of those concepts of being more in sync with the body, being more in sync with emotions, being more in sync with the mind. For this reason, in truth, many of us don't know what it is to be with our body, or really in our bodies. Truth be told, sometimes we'll go around with a bit of a floaty feeling. We feel like we're out here somewhere, or just over the head, or just behind us, or somewhere out in front. And we don't always feel fully grounded in our body, and will allow you to feel more present in your body more consistently. Likewise, that sense of overwhelm, we feel very disconnected, out of phase with our emotional state. Hey, how you doing today? And almost based off of cultural programming and baggage, we instinctively say something like, what? I'm okay. I'm great. And then something on the inside might hear that and say, wait a minute, is that really true? you know, and create a whole cascade of chemicals and emotions and effects, to verify or to remind us whether or not that was, or in some cases was not, in the truth or the facts. Um, Likewise, when we're out of phase with our sense of thinking, or our concept of the mind, our sense of our deep self, the relationship with our deep self, we often find ourselves stuck in spirals of self-criticism, self-questioning, self-doubt. We really don't trust our decision-making processes, and so we're a little bit quick to look for everybody else to give us direction. And so again, at least with the way that it's been shared with me, that I'm wanting to share with you now, We want to get a lot of that back in sync, get that back in phase. So here we go. Last technique for the night, the meditation for the true self. If you're not already there, let's get ourselves in a comfortable position now. If you're seated, you're welcome to have the feet flat on the floor. The back and the neck are straight. The eyes can be open. The eyes can be closed. If the eyes are open, as mentioned previously, if the eyes are open, that's fine. Just allow yourself to blankly gaze in a general direction. We don't want to stare at anything too hard. Otherwise, you're welcome if you feel as though you're going to be able to maintain a greater sense of focus. You're welcome to have eyes focused or eyes closed to increase the sense of focus. That's fine. Now, yes, I'm going to be guiding us through this, but my eyes are going to be slightly lowered. They might at times be closed, and that's fine. And as you heard me say at the top of that last meditation, listen, if you feel like the mind is wandering at any point, it's okay. It's okay. You're welcome to use the sound of my voice. You're welcome to use the words I'll be speaking as something of an anchor to just bring you back into present time. And just trust the process. Trust the process, okay? This is all practice. So, again, let's get ourselves into that relaxed position now. And as we begin together now, let's begin together now with a long inhale through the nose. Long exhale through the mouth. Settle into the breathing now. Settle into the breathing now. In and out through the nose. Breathing now in and out through the nose. Allowing the breath to become a little bit longer now. Longer on the inhale. Longer on the exhale. And as you're allowing that breath to become just a little bit longer now on the inhale, and longer now on the exhale, just continue now to relax the physical body just a little bit more. In this moment, you're completely safe. Relax the body just a little bit more now. Just relax. As you settle more deeply into your breathing, in and out through the nose, begin to notice now more and more feelings and sensations in the physical body. Observe now the feelings and the sensations in the physical body with no labels. So don't worry about reaching for words like hot or cold. Observe right now with no value judgments. So we're not concerned with reaching for words or concepts like good or bad. Right now we're simply observing. Just observe. And if the mind begins to wander, you can simply return to your breathing first and then come back to the discipline. And right now, the discipline is simply observing all of the feelings and all of the sensations in, on, and around the physical body. Right now, you are the observer. So begin now to observe emotions, Be present in observing emotions. And as the observer, emotions cannot control you. As the observer, you have safe distance from emotions. Emotions can do you no harm. As you observe the emotions right now, observe them with no labels, observe them with no value judgments. If the emotions had a shape or a form, how might they now appear? Just observe. Observe emotions now with no value judgments. They're not good, they're not bad. Just observe emotions. If emotions come near you, you are welcome to let them pass you by. Allow yourself permission to release emotions. If you notice yourself clinging to any emotion or emotions, you are welcome to release any